Got any sugar? I take it this is a non-smoking interrogation. Wasn't it a shame when they banned smoking in public? Health is the new religion. That makes us that makes you the clergy. It used to be that it was unusual for a woman to do my job. Too much stress, not enough muscle. Apart from during the war, of course. Though every history has its exceptions. Nowadays, it's pretty much equal, at least in my experience. Got male colleagues who will only go into a dangerous environment with a female. They say that it de-escalates violence. Not you, though. You're looking for an excuse. It was the stress, the workload, the hours, or because I'm a woman, it was boy trouble. My ovaries. Early onset, right? And details, naturally. Any and all of the above, plus financial strain. Double, toil and trouble. You can look me in the eye when you do that, you know. I get it. You need places, details, names, an eyewitness account from the accused. Fine. Have it your way. Again. It was the 14th of December, 2 a.m. Myself and my partner Jimmy, we receive a call, a usual call. It's an overdose. I drove. Jimmy hated to drive. I used to take the piss that he was afraid of the dark, but really he just hated driving an ambulance in the dark. Blue lights flashing, us hurtling about. I mean, you've heard the stories. So I drove. But Jimmy, you know, he used to say that if I took the bullet, he would see me through it. I mean, I thought he was taking the piss, but here I am. And Jimmy. It was late. The building, it was damn near dilapidated. I remember only noticing it was raining once we got inside. There were buckets everywhere, and there was rain coming through the cracks in the ceilings, and the sound it made as it went into the buckets, it was percussive. It was rhythmic. But as soon as we get inside, I know we've got to get the fuck out of there. Wait outside, call the police. I was ignored. And that's the bit I need you to remember. Especially you. Jimmy decided to search the building. I refused. I tried to pull him back, but he just slipped past me and starts going up the stairs. He gets his torch out, but then his foot goes through a cavity in the stairs. And I think, you know, that's going to be sign enough. But no, he just carries on. Jimmy, you know, we are close. Where the fuck is he? Huh? Where the fuck is Jimmy? And don't say intensive care, because I know that, okay? I know that all too well. So I leave him. I leave Jimmy and I go and wait outside. Okay, I was not trained to go into that building. I followed procedure. And of course, that's the crux of this, isn't it? Procedure. At what point did I veer away from procedure? Because I'm an algorithm. And what happened to Jimmy and what I had to do to you is just some sort of statistical anomaly. It's a mistake. Human error, but it's my fucking life, all right? It's my life. I go and wait outside. I radioed control and was on standby. I walk out into the street and I look back up to the house and I see Jimmy's lights up on the 3rd floor. He's still searching. I mean, Jimmy and me. I mean, he'd been my mentor since pretty much day one, and my heart sank to see him up there by himself. But I was determined to stay put. I had this bad feeling. I got a cigarette out, on duty as well. Don't worry, I didn't smoke it. I thought, how would that look? That's funny now. And just before I heard it, believe it or not, I saw this rat chasing a cat. Nearly the fucking same size. And then I heard it. Jimmy's scream. And it wasn't like he'd been surprised. You know, he didn't scream in fright. It was like he'd seen something. I can't explain it. So I didn't react straight away. I didn't freeze. I just didn't react. And I thought he might call out or something. But then he screamed again. And this time it was different. It was more immediate. It was urgent. That's the word. It was urgent. And I'm a paramedic. I'm a paramedic. You make me, and then you want to hunt me. It'd be scary if it wasn't so childish. So I run inside. Against every ounce of self-preservation I have, I run inside to find Jimmy. And going through the house is a blur. It's just ceilings and stairs. And I turn the final landing and I see this man standing in front of me. I can't remember what he looks like. All I can see is Jimmy. Jimmy at his feet. Jimmy unconscious. And there's a street light streaming into the baby's room. And Jimmy's not moving. And out of nowhere, this woman comes running at me. I see the whites of her eyes. Fuck me, it made me jump. But I don't move. She trips, she falls. I don't even remember touching her. And she goes over the banister and lands at the bottom of the stairs. She's not moving. And the man rushes over and looks over the banister. Help her, he says. Help her. And he starts grabbing me and screaming her name into my ear. And I can't remember her name. Can't remember her name. And his mouth is so close to my face, I can feel his teeth on my cheek. He's out of it, he's got wild eyes, and he grabs me by the hair and he pulls me down to where Jimmy's lying. Jimmy. Half his face is smashed in. And he's got me by the hair and he's got me down there, but I get free from him. And I push him with both my arms, and I'm pushing him, and it's easy, and he's off balance, and I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. This man is bad. This man is bad, and I'm pushing him, and he's still got hold of my hair, and then the window cracks. And he falls through it. He lands hard. He doesn't make a sound. At least I can't hear him over my screams. Jimmy, I remember Jimmy. And I rush over to him, and that's when I see it. Her. A baby. Half in, half out of a bin liner. I call the police and they arrive. An ambulance takes Jimmy away. And my friends and colleagues have been there for me, have continued to be there for me and Jimmy. And after all this, I am suspended pending an investigation. You won't reinstate me, and you won't tell me why. All I get is some bullshit that it's too soon. Too soon? Have you ever wondered that after a while, time off starts to grate? I feel displaced. I knew that the baby couldn't be saved. I worked on Jimmy and he's alive. You lot. You can't be honest with me because you can't stand the thought of being dictated to by a headline. It's much easier, isn't it? To destroy me and to crush me into obscurity and silence than it is to tarnish a reputation that none of you here, except me, contributed towards. I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to resign. You are going to have to sack me. In fact, I'm not going to move from here until I'm reinstated. Any chance of a biscuit?